you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, we are YBMchat Podcast. Instagram at YBMchat. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at YBMchat.
Toys? Hell no.
Hey, it's Dashia D.
Hey, it's Cassondra.
Hey, y'all, it's Tre'Dub.
It's your girl, LadiiNova.
And we are
YBMchat.
Young Black Millennials offering you a fresh new take you didn't know you needed.
Boy.
All right, so first off, Georgia is now saying that, these kids don't have to take the road test to get their driver's license. What the fuck were y'all thinking? Like,
you're trying to kill them, that's why.
Pretty much, that's the big part of the driving test, is to fucking drive. That riding portion is questionable, because like down here, we don't get snow and sleet like that and icy roads. So asking me which way to turn my wheel for all that stuff, I don't know. But just to not have the driving portion of the test, half these children don't even know how to back up out of a driveway. Use turn signals and all this other basic shit that you need to know. And now you want to get rid of it?
They really learn how to look both ways when walking.
And don't get me started about texting and driving. These teenagers text and walk. So you just can imagine they go about to text and drive and oh, that's scary, man.
What happened to the hoverboards? It seemed like there was so many accidents on hoverboards. And some scooters that y'all got out there, train? Like, them Paul Blart scooters.
Oh, I need to talk about you leave them on the sidewalk when you done.
Georgia can't get it together. Then y'all just have the two teenagers on TikTok making a video, and then y'all jumping up, opening up everything. Y'all can't get it together.
Just keep building and building.
At this point, I'm just not leaving the house because, I already been in one car accident since I've been in Georgia. And at this point, if y'all not letting these people actually take a driving test, well, actually, drive during the driving test, then what's the point, So it's like all you need is parental consent to say, oh, I think he's okay to drive, and bam, license.
Parents are gonna lie. They don't want to drive these little bastards around all day.
Okay.
That's so scary, man. Just pray for Georgia. They need it.
At this point, I'm just not leaving this house. So, I guess keeping the light on Georgia, well, Atlanta per se. So, if you guys watch Love and Hip Hop, there is 2 stars on there. Spice, she's a Jamaican artist, and also Shakana. So if you don't know who she is, she's also was on T.I. and Tiny's show as Tiny's best friend or friend or whatever. But anywho, so they were on Instagram Live, just carrying on. So they had a conversation, and it was at least funny as hell to me. So Spice was saying on Instagram Live that when in 2020 you guys need to spice up your sex life, as she says. So instead of having sex inside or having sex on the bed, go under the bed. Instead of having sex inside, climb the tree and basically let him do you while y'all on the tree. But this is the kicker here. So you let him get the broom and let him beat you with the broomstick.
Something wrong with her. I feel like, and I don't know her, I definitely don't know her sex life. I feel like it has to be so boring for her to go to those extremes. Because who climbing a tree? By the time you get up there, you tired, he tired. Ain't nobody feel like doing nothing. Just come on down. It's okay.
First of all, I ain't trying to have sex on the ground. Again, I just said I'm paranoid. I'm not about to have an ant crawling up in my stuff. That's okay. Up in a whole nother dimension. Climbing a tree? Ain't she talking about being locked in the trunk?
Yep, she did.
That's how two grown adults sit under the bed, but
You know, in college, you can raise the bed. So maybe that's what they were talking about.
And Cassondra, what did we say? We was talking about your bed specifically. You don't even have no underneath.
Oh yeah, mine doesn't have
about
an
to say
underneath,
that.
so we'll be out of luck. That's not an option.
Okay, so and I'm like, she was so serious.
No. Because I can't even fit under my bed, let alone me and a whole nother person. Like, no.
Okay, so I mean, so basically, like, to wrap it all up or whatever with that, it was just so hilarious to me because if y'all saw her face in this video, it's so serious. We'll try and, like, you know, put the link in there so you guys can check it out. But you know, long story short, spice up your sex life, y'all. It is 2020. Go ahead and climb that tree, break every limb and your back.
And possibly get a charge for having sex outside.
Listen. And spice it up, y'all. You know what? It's 2020. So,
No. Spice, ma'am. Gotta go. You gotta
go. She better introduce some food, some fruit, chocolate, whipped cream, something. No. Don't follow that lady.
Some food, you got handcuffs, some anal beads.
Thank you. Something.
I was about to say, right. So I was about to say, before I wrap up this, so what would y'all do, or like what's things that y'all would suggest to kind of like spice up? Maybe not what she's doing, but what would you guys do in the bedroom to kind of spice it up a little bit?
I'm vanilla. I just lay down.
Girl,
Lord. I will be the first to say, using whipped cream and stuff is cute on TV. It don't work in real life. It's sticky, it's messy, it get all over the place. It's a hassle. Don't do it.
No. How long are you leaving this whipped cream? That's my question, because it doesn't take that long.
Okay, I'll explain this after we're done recording, because I am not doing this on video. Ooh.
Listen here. It's not for everybody to know what I have going on. I have used it, and it's not sticky.
It is, well, okay, I can't talk for you. We'll talk later.
I should have had my mug.
Okay, I'll just briefly say it is sticky. So say you place it somewhere and you go to
How did we get here?
I'll just explain this off camera because there's no way I can do this. But yeah.
Keep it rated G here, but
we passed that.
But I mean, for me personally, like probably like the most spicing up I would do is just go like outside the bedroom in the midst of like, you know, action. Like, you know, you like to move from the bedroom to the bathroom to the kitchen floor to the couch to the living room, shit, maybe the dining room. Like,
that's the most spicing up I'm gonna do in my kitchen to do it on there, like how they do on TV.
You know what?
I think the best thing for you to do is talk to your partner. Don't make assumptions. Don't follow Spice's advice because they might look at you sideways.
Because I sure looked at her sideways as I was dying laughing at that video. But yes. But you know what, y'all? And to wrap this up, I'll say, you know, in this quarantine, you have no choice but to think about stuff. You know, you're what you love most of the time now. So I'm pretty sure, like, you want to figure out like different things to do. Like, you know, some people may want to do it like in the corner.
Get real creative.
Yeah, like some people maybe like the kitchen sink. Like,
too big to fit in there, but
in the middle of washing dishes, you never know. Like,
that's unsanitary.
Tre'Dub. Gotta go.
Really? Okay.
The kitchen sink.
Right. And he said,
why? It's 2020, y'all. You gotta do different things. You gotta do different things.
You don't go on top of dishes that are dirty? That's nasty.
And in the kitchen sink since I was a baby, or to get my hair washed. You want my body on the sink?
Would you rather that or climbing a tree? Come on now.
I'd rather not do nothing.
So since Megan tell me we gotta go, that would politely lead us right into our topic / game for today. So
exactly. So I done said Spice gotta go and Tre'Dub. So today's is one gotta go. If you don't know how this game is supposed to go or it goes, all it is a list of things that either be TV shows, music groups, type of music, food, whatever. You usually get a list of 4. Sometimes there's more, and you choose one you would deal with without having in your life the whole time. So the first one is TV shows. Right now we're doing black sitcoms because again, we're young black millennials. So the choices are Martin, A Different World, Cosby Show, and The Fresh Prince. One gotta go. Who is itching the most? I'm curious about
Cassondra.
just don't do in movies.
I feel like A Different World has to go. I really did try to. So I've watched all those. I feel like with that one, I couldn't get into it. Everybody thought it was funny, and I'm like, I don't see what's so funny. I just couldn't. Like, it just was, for me, it just seemed so corny that I guess it was supposed to be funny, and I feel like it wasn't no real life lessons. In the episodes I did watch, like Cosby Show, they always had like little life lessons, or in Martin, it was just funny, but with some underlying message. And I forgot the other one you said, but
Fresh Prince.
oh, Fresh Prince, of course. Like, that was the best show ever.
A Different World didn't have life lessons. They talked about HIV/AIDS. They talked about dating safety when there was a girl who was dealing with domestic violence.
No, I said
talked about
episodes
drugs, alcohol.
I've seen. I
They
probably
really
see them
shoved
episodes.
in the whole HBCU because what other
Yeah.
shows?
And I believe after A Different World aired, that college admissions increased, and there were more kids of color going to school. There are a lot of people who are probably like in their late 30s, early 40s, who say that that's the reason they even went to college.
Nope, couldn't get into it.
Really?
I was just because you said there were no life lessons, and that's just not true.
No, not in the whole episode. I said I didn't see any life lessons in the episode I've seen. You know what I mean? And it's like I just couldn't get into it. So maybe they did, and I just was bored with it, and I just didn't pay it any attention either. But the other shows were wonderful.
Wow.
Probably like one episode of Cassondra.
Probably half.
See?
Wow. Moving forward, Tre'Dub, what you getting rid of?
So I'm actually gonna also say A Different World, but my reason is way different from hers. So I simply just didn't watch it that much. Like, for me personally, I actually gained something. Not to say I didn't from A Different World, but I actually, me individually, like growing up, I actually gained something from Martin, Fresh Prince, and The Cosby Show. Like, as far as like The Fresh Prince, I actually kind of gained more of my personality from Carlton. Like, I was always kind of like, kind of a preppy boy. Like, I didn't really have like the most gangster like friends, or I wasn't like, always around like the hood 24/7 or whatever. So I kind of like related to him more in that sense. Now, Martin, that was just a plain old funny show to me because I literally like Shanae show not here salon. And then The Cosby Show, like, every episode was like, you really learn anything about, like, being in a black family. Like, especially, but my favorite Cosby Show episode was when Vanessa got caught trying to have fake fun.
Oh, Lord.
Fine. I literally died. Oh my God. But yeah, Different World, it just really didn't hit me. And granted, I did watch the episodes that Dashia just mentioned about like the domestic violence and the HIV ones, but it just didn't do it for me. And I'm gonna just leave it like that.
All right, so Cassondra and Trey, y'all getting rid of Different World. I am flabbergasted. Dashia D, what is your choice?
You're not gonna like my answer. So I would have to get rid of Martin.
Lord.
Because
I knew she was gonna say that.
Because I like Martin. I think that it can be funny, but I probably watched that the least out of all of the shows. Because Cosby Show, Martin, Fresh Prince, and A Different World. Out of that four, A Different World is obviously my favorite. I'm an honorary Hillman grad. So, I don't know. I grew up watching The Cosby Show, I think that it's cute, it's funny, it's a classic. And then as far as Fresh Prince is like a silly funny to me. It's never, I don't think I've ever died laughing at Fresh Prince. Martin is funny as well, but like I said, I just did not watch it that much. But A Different World, I found that gem in college, ironically, and was mad that I hadn't seen it before, but I feel like it was the right timing because I got a chance to kind of live vicariously through the characters since I attended a PWI. I didn't get a chance to have the HBCU experience. And so that show I feel like is kind of timeless. It did indeed have important lessons in it. And like I said before, it had a positive impact on the Black community in general. So mine would be Martin. Martin would have to go.
I am hurt. So for me, it was a hard choice because I like all of these shows. But of the four, it would have to be Fresh Prince. That's gotta go for me. Martin, I could quote so many lines out of that thing. I do not get tired of watching it. I watch it as if I've never seen it before. A Different World, I remember it from when I was younger, but when Netflix put it on there, that was it. That's all I was watching 24/7. I don't care how many. I completed it and I watched it again like I never saw it before. Cosby Show again, a lot of great moments. The Wretched, the way Claire went off on Elvin about serving her man, it was just like, it was too good to me. As far as Fresh Prince goes, there were a lot of funny moments, but it's not something that out of these four that I would automatically gravitate to. And then I'm just petty. I think about what people did outside of those shows. Will is the only one who has the extensive list. Because you don't see Will.
Oh yeah.
Fresh Prince. Like, he's the only one who has the extensive list. Alfonso Ribeiro, he's hosting shows. We don't know where Hillary is. Ashley's been doing like B and C list movies.
Yeah.
Where's Jeffrey? The original Aunt Viv. The original Aunt Viv, she's been in things, but not ones that I can remember the names to. And then the second Aunt Viv. Plus, I didn't like the character development because the second Aunt Viv just was a housewife. She just stopped doing anything. First Aunt Viv was out here working, taking dance classes, actually having attitudes with the kids for doing dumb stuff. The other Aunt Viv was just there.
When you talk about the careers of the people afterwards, based on that, I would definitely say get rid of Fresh Prince because I feel like I know a lot of Tisha Campbell and Tashina Arnold's movies and shows, whereas the people who are on Fresh Prince, I just don't. And out of Martin and Fresh Prince, I watch those the least compared to Cosby and A Different World. So I actually might change mine. I will get rid of Fresh Prince over Martin based on that.
I'm about to say, even you got to think Different World. You got Young Jada. You had Tupac on there.
Oh yeah.
This dude has been in so many things. I don't remember his name. They show know because you watched the show. He was the one that was dating Jada. He was tall and light skinned. I don't know his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Because he was
I can't think of the name right now.
He was also in Living Single. He liked Khadijah.
I mean, even Cree Summer, who's on that show as Freddie, she has played she's a what do you call it? A voice actor. She's done so many different people, from the Rugrats to pretty much a lot of Black women.
Clifford,
the big red dog,
purple dog. Oh,
she was on Courtney and Kids Next Door, number 5.
Yeah.
So like it was extensive list for other people, whether it's behind the scenes, voiceover, whatever. It just went further with those 3 shows than it did with Fresh Prince. But I guess I had some cute choices. Group 2. Group 2 is girl group. So we have Destiny's Child, TLC, SWV, and Escape. I'm going to start with Dayshawn.
Oh, okay. So I love R&B. So this is very hard for me. But I would have to get rid of Escape. I love Escape, but I don't know as much of their music catalog as I do of like SWV, TLC, and Destiny's Child. Plus, if I'm honest, well, I can't say that because I was going to say I feel like Escape didn't have a lot of. I felt like Escape didn't give other people opportunities to lead in songs. It all went to the two sisters for the most part, and Tiny and Candy kind of just were the background. But then again, SWV kind of do the same thing because Coco takes most of the songs. But I think it just comes down to whose music do I know the most, and it's definitely not them. I only know their hits, and some of their hits I don't even like because I hate My Little Secret. I don't like songs about being side chicks and you know you're a side chick. I'm not with it.
I like Understanding.
I love Understanding. I like Just Kicking It.
I take my heart out to
Can I Run To? Huh?
I love that song. Oh my God.
I don't know why I sang my heart out to that.
I don't like it. But I mean, I do give them their props because a lot of people don't give them the recognition that they should get. But I still would say they would have to go out of that list. And without Destiny's Child, of course, we would never have Queen Bee. So that's gonna y'all need
because just why?
Because why you even had to bring that part up? But
because it's a part of it. Like she was a part of Destiny's Child. That's how we met her. Well, she was on Star Search first, and then she did the Destiny's Child, and now we have her. So of course I'm not getting rid of Destiny's Child.
Well, they had the girls' time first, and then
yes,
we gotta go way back.
Well, that was Star Search, and then with
because
SWV,
why y'all face look like this? Boy, haters.
And then
haters,
SWV,
haters.
I just know a lot of their music, so.
Tre'Dub.
Anywho, all right. So so for me, I literally had the exact same reason as Dacia, but instead of Escape, I'm actually getting rid of SWV because of literally the opposite for me. I don't know that much. I only know of SWV's hits. Like, I Can't Stand Weak.
Really?
I cannot stand that song.
That's the first 90s song I learned as a child.
And that's crazy. The first 90s song, well, one of the first 90s songs that I learned or grew up listening to was Creep and Digging on You.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I definitely cannot get rid of TLC.
Oh, yeah, they weren't going anywhere.
Exactly. And Destiny's Child, of course, they're my second best in there. Not mostly because of Beyonce, but they definitely harmonize well. As far as the group overall, it was a good. They had hits as fuck shit. But SWV, the only song I can probably say that I really liked from SWV was the Michael Jackson remix Right Here. To be honest,
that's one of my least favorites.
Which one? Will you say again?
You don't like Rain?
That's a no.
Like I said, I'm choosing to get rid of them.
You don't like Downtown? I would think you would like Downtown, no?
And I think, like you said before, you don't know that much of their catalog. Well, I don't know that much of their catalog, and that's kind of like. So yeah.
I would have to get rid of Escape, and nothing on them really. I just don't really know a lot of this song. Like, I've heard it before. Of course, my mama played it when I was growing up, but I've never listened to them and said, "Oh, I gotta go listen to that song." Like, I've never gone out my way to play their music. Like, I've never done it on YouTube or or on the radio or nothing like that. So only because I didn't really listen to it or don't care to listen to their stuff.
She disagrees. She's gonna get rid of Destiny's Child. Just watch. Go ahead.
The shade of it all. I wasn't. I actually was going to agree with you and Cassondra.
Oh, shocker. I thought she would have been like, ew, Beyonce.
No,
I just playing. I just playing.
Nip this in the bud for the listeners right here, right now. It's not like I don't listen to Beyonce's music because I do. She has good songs. She is a good performer. I personally just don't like the way she is overly hyped by others like she's a god. Granted, I love Rihanna, but I understand that. But are you saying anything about it? Like, they bought a church. Why are you buying a church? For what?
And that was ridiculous. That was crazy ridiculous.
And you have people that have a church of B. My thing is, if you don't want to be praised like that, tell people that. Or at least
But she did. In addition, in her concert, God is God. Well, she said that all the time. I am not God. She put that on most of her concerts. I only been to 2. But the 2 concerts that I have been to, she posted that. Huh?
Who's reporting the concerts? Because I don't see these posted everywhere. I said, who's reporting the concert? Because I've never seen that posted, and I've stayed online. I've never seen that posted anywhere.
Oh, I don't know. I just know I've seen it. And she'll be like, God is God. I am not. I'm not God. Like, she tells people that.
Reeling back in. That was
right.
I have her personally. I have a lot of her songs because I do like them. As far as this list goes, I would say Escape because vocally, I've heard Candy sing recently. I ain't a big fan. Like, I ain't running out of my way to go hear her specifically. I've had 1 or maybe 2 of Tiny's songs when she went by herself. And I think one of them was with, what is old buddy from Day 26? The only person everybody, Slim.
Ooh, how you remember them, girl?
I think that was his name. So I think them 2 did a song together. I like SWV.
Oh,
again, it's a vocal thing. I have a thing, like being around church people, you have a thing for who actually can sing, who has the gift, and who is trained. So that's just me. And then, of course, TLC, like, where y'all going? Y'all had all the moves. Y'all had, especially for me and them, I feel like I didn't have to, well, no, I can't say that because Escape did that with Just Kicking It. They had the baggy clothes and the little floppy stuff.
Yeah. That was just the style.
Yeah, it was, but you didn't have Destiny Child do that. They took out of that and went to the whole sex appeal thing. They didn't do too many baggy clothes.
But wouldn't you say Destiny's Child was a newer group? I feel like Escape and SWV and TLC were like strictly 90s, whereas Destiny's Child was more like getting into the early 2000s, where that was becoming more of a thing. Because I mean, they came out and you had Aaliyah and
I'm about to say Aaliyah
those type of people
too.
out during that time where they were wearing less. It was the exact opposite.
Even Ashanti and like, you know, they just didn't really wear that many clothes that much.
True, but yeah, Escape for me gotta go. I ain't too pressed on it. Both them and SWV, I don't know their whole catalog, but I'd rather sing SWV or listen to them. And then didn't Escape try to like come back with music and tours? I didn't care to
without Candy. So now they spell Escape with a 3.
So Candy's out. Did not know that.
Oh god.
Well, it's her choice though. She didn't want to make new music. She felt like if we ended our careers at the top, let's stay there. Let's not try to come out and make new things and it not sell. And that's the last thing we're remembered by.
So. Oh yeah.
Well, she's got a lot to fall back on. She's got her toy line. She's out here doing great things for her.
Old Lady Gang.
1 and 2.
That's the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's at 1 and 2, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't follow people's lines at all.
And then, go ahead.
And she got a boutique too.
Oh yeah, Tags.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to say, Cassondra? I didn't know any of this.
I didn't know either.
Next group, we got male singers. So we have Weeknd, Bruno Mars, Usher, Michael Jackson, Prince, and Chris Brown. Gotta go. I'm gonna start with Tre'Dub first.
So y'all probably gonna curse me out or take my black card for this one. So I was actually, mine is a tie between the 2, but I think I got one that I would get rid of over the other. So the 2 that I was like caught between was Bruno Mars and Prince. I know.
I can see it.
So, and it's simply because I really don't know that much of Prince's music. I really don't. And then they already know how I feel about Bruno Mars. So, but to get rid of one, I definitely would just have to say Bruno Mars.
And he only did that because Bruno Mars not black.
First of all, no. Because I definitely was not going to get rid of Michael Jackson. I'm definitely not getting rid of Usher. Definitely not getting rid of Chris Brown. And definitely not The Weeknd. I love all four of them. But yeah, Bruno Mars, I mean, it's just, his music I'm just not with it. It's just not. It don't touch me. I don't feel it, nothing like that. This shit has tried for years to get me to like Bruno Mars, and it's not working. No. So yeah, that's me.
So Bruno Mars for Tre'Dub, gotta go. Cassondra, who you got?
Oh Lord, y'all thought y'all was gonna take Trey Black card.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Okay. If it's just them and their music, I say Michael Jackson gotta go. I know. I don't like his music. I don't like how he sounds. I like his dance moves, but I know. I really don't. But the only reason why I wouldn't pick him is because like Beyonce loved him so much, and I feel like there wouldn't be no Beyonce if there wasn't a Michael Jackson.
It wouldn't be this list without Michael Jackson.
Wait a minute. That's your only excuse is because of Beyonce? My dude, I'm going to take it back to the Jackson 5 story that was 7 hours long. Okay. If it wasn't for Michael Jackson getting his ass in that group, nobody would know shit about the Jackson family. Who cares about Tito? Jermaine? LaToya? No one. Absolutely no one.
They get my reading.
Cassondra don't like none of the Jacksons, so that don't matter to her.
I really don't. And I mean, and I think because, okay, going back to what I said earlier, I've never purposely ever gone out my way to listen to Michael Jackson. I've never said, oh, I'm on YouTube, let me look up a song. But I have purposely listened to everybody else on that list. I've gone out of my way to listen to their stuff or have it on my phone. I just don't like his music. I don't like how he sounds. And I feel bad because he passed away already and everybody thinks he's a legend. So when he did die, my cousin legit went to a deep depression for a week and lost so much weight. She wasn't eating. She wasn't sleeping. She had blacked out curtains, like a deep depression. Like she wasn't paying bills, nothing. It was so bad. And I'm just like, he was just a person, guys. You know,
but you feel that way about Beyonce? Because she's just
hell no. Don't talk to me if Beyonce died. Y'all know that. Don't call me. Don't look at me.
Cassondra.
That's Michael Jackson. I hope your mama hit us and whoop your ass because I know she taught you better. She did.
Every single one of these people, except Prince, will probably on this list have said Michael Jackson is the reason why they became who they are.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. If it was just them and their music, then I would say him. But if it, like, of course, if you basing it off of other stuff and other people, then yeah. Everybody else on that list, like I said, I've purposely gone out and listened to.
Sandra,
I've even listened to 2 of Prince songs on my own. But Prince will be the second, you know?
I was about to say, if you don't like Michael Jackson, then you don't like Prince.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure people thought that they was brothers.
Because I feel like Prince is even more theatrical
than
way more.
They try to say that these two had a rivalry, but I don't think that.
I don't think that either. I feel like, especially like back in the day, they just kind of like did their own thing.
They were just 2 of the biggest at their time. I want to move on to Cassondra because she stressed me out her day.
Y'all asked.
Yeah, this list is not that hard to me at all. Actually, I would get rid of The Weeknd. Yeah, what was whatever his first single was to ever come out, I feel like it came out when we were in college. I could not stand his voice. I could not stand the music production itself. I could not stand the lyrics. I have tried to listen to other songs of The Weeknd. I can't remember.
I'm thinking
about it. It had to be
too.
in high school because I remember Lawson Mazel had loved him and he put everybody on the bus on The Weeknd.
I don't know, but one of his very first songs I just did not like, and I couldn't get into his voice. I think the only song that he has released that I was like, oh, okay, this is fine, is Can't Feel My Face. And even that, I'm kind of like, I'm cool on
Okay,
it.
do you like his latest song that just came out? Because it sounds like Take On Me. And that's why I love it so much.
That's cute that you think I've actually listened to it.
No, listen. Oh, Lord. Listen to it and give a fair, honest opinion and then tell me what you think.
I will. Like I said before, I love R&B music or alternative R&B as well, but I just cannot get into him. And I feel like the other people on the list, I know a lot more of their music. And if I am correct, all of them can dance as well. Like all of them can dance. They're all performers. And personally, if I'm going to pay the big bucks to see you at a concert, I want there to be lights, water, fire, a dance routine. I want a show that I'm paying money for. And The Weeknd is just going to stand there and whine. And I don't want to see that.
She said whine?
I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear that. That's not a good time for me. Whereas the other people, you have Bruno. I don't care what Trey says. Bruno kills it. Every single performance you see him, he kills it. And obviously he looked up to Michael Jackson, who did the very same thing. And Usher and Chris Brown, same difference. So that's another thing. They're all performers. They're not just vocalists. So I can appreciate that. And I just like their music better.
Okay, so I almost got my head chopped off with my girl when I said this, but I agree with Dashia for that exact reason of the week. Now, like Tre'Dub said, if it came down to two, it would be Weeknd and Bruno Mars. But I would have to get rid of Weeknd because I used to seek out his music and I haven't. But again, performance-wise, like all these people on this list is performers. I don't care what nobody says about Prince or how you feel about him. This man had hit after hit after hit, played all his music. Look, he worked with Lizzo, he worked with Danny Lay. Like his list is extensive for how like his inspiration went out. I just can't I like The Weeknd, but I can't get rid of anybody else. I like Bruno Mars for his style and who he is as a person. Michael Jackson, between him and Prince, like you're not gonna get people to get on their level of performance. How people passing out, don't know English language, and they're out here fainting at the sight of them. Like, who does that for anybody else? Like, granted, like how you say, Cassondra, Beyonce looked up to him, cool. Have I seen another female of this generation perform like her? No, I can give her that, even though I don't watch her like that, but I've seen some of her stuff. It's not going to get that extensive, but is she at Michael Jackson and Prince level where she's traveling all over the world? Like, all over.
Yes. Megan. Come on now.
Fainting over Beyonce? Are people really fainting over Beyonce?
Megan,
they are.
Please do a YouTube search. Please.
I can't.
If you go on Beyonce I Am Yours World Tour on YouTube right now, I got on my capture too. Yes. They had people being escorted out because they fainted when they saw her. I can send it to you as soon as they move.
I was about to say now, I had to back until you said that one because I've seen people actually faint for Beyonce. Some of them, my close friends. So
if people go create a church after her, as you mentioned previously, you don't think they would be fainting over her?
No, that's crazy. That's satanic to me.
I'm just saying, like, if they would go that far, you don't think that people would be fainting over her?
But I'm saying, like,
definitely at the level that Michael Jackson was.
Maybe
I wouldn't say at the same caliber as Michael, but
okay, y'all.
Maybe
now
it's
y'all
getting
tripping.
there.
Now y'all tripping.
I'm saying, like, at the oceans of people. Yes, she can pack out a house. I will say that again, female wise. And again, I am a Rihanna fan, and I feel like Ciara can dance her ass off, but Ciara's still not going to bring the people in like that.
No.
Definitely not.
Like you tell them, boy, Beyonce there, and they gonna come with their mama and their granny and their great grandma. Everybody gonna be there because she's Queen Bee. Hello.
So 10 years from now, you don't think that, let's say 20 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, you don't think that she's going to be revered as a legend? You don't think that people are going to say, oh, she's legendary, she is one of the best to ever do it? You don't think that?
I won't say that, but how I'm going back to the male artists, kids now. My girl Lil Munchkin is 7. She just got here. Loves Michael Jackson like she's been here her whole life. My little cousin, when she first started like listening, picking up her own music, oh Michael Jackson, this Michael Jackson. I'm like, girl, you know nothing about him. You was born in 2003. You just got here. Every kid now is like, not even just now, for years, kids find a way or somehow gravitate to Michael Jackson, whether their parents put them on or not. They are just there with Michael Jackson. These other people on the list besides Prince, I said out of this list of people, you might get that with Chris Brown.
I can see that, Megan,
at a Michael Jackson level.
I feel like
no. I'm not saying Michael Jackson level. I'm just saying that they'll, out of this list of guys that will look for music from this generation. So like Usher, Chris Brown, Weeknd, and Bruno Mars, I feel like they'll go to Chris Brown first before they go to those other people. Usher was good for us in our time, but right now, this nigga's still gliding.
The only thing I'll say, because I don't want to go back and forth about it, I guess, anymore, is that one of the reasons why I think, even though I would prefer, I kind of do prefer Chris Brown's music over Bruno, just because Chris Brown tends to be strictly R&B. I think that's why it's easier for artists like Michael Jackson or Prince or Bruno Mars to exceed certain levels of success, because they're pretty poppy. Like, yes, they do have some R&B flavor, but they're pretty poppy, which pop tends to be crossover and R&B is not. So you're crossing over into different types of audiences, right? You know, I think that's a reason why, as far as Beyonce goes, or people like her wouldn't reach that level, because they're not as poppy. They tend to be more R&B. But anyway, we can move on.
So like worldwide. Okay, so I'll say like this, not even Michael Jackson. Beyonce, do you think Beyonce is going to get to that Janet Jackson level? Because Janet has,
I do think that,
put out stuff for like quite some time, and the minute she says I'm going on tour, oh, that's it. Niggas is losing their mind.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that she'll definitely get to Janet's level of stardom. I do believe that.
You're asking this as if you're asking this as if she does not have world tours, where she's not having her shows at an auditorium. She's having her shows at football stadiums. And they're sold out.
Like I said, I won't take away her performances, but for me, in my mind, how Michael Jackson, Prince, Janet Jackson has been set up for my entire life of being here. For me, I haven't seen that with her yet, personally.
And again, Janet Jackson, another example. She does R&B, but she can be very poppy as well.
And rock.
Which is more, which is way more, it has more crossover appeal than strictly R&B. So.
True. Out of these comedians, who has to go? Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, or Kevin Hart? Who do I want to start on?
Me and Trey, I know we got the same person. So go ahead. We'll say it together.
I'm gonna go with Daisha first. Right over there.
Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying I think all of them are hilarious, and I've seen all of their stand-up. This is tough, but.
Really?
I'm going to have to get rid of Dave Chappelle, because I've never, you might take my black heart for this, I've never seen the Chappelle Show ever in life. Not one episode, not a few seconds, nothing. So that's out the way. I feel like Dave Chappelle is funny, but I feel like he's more of a social commentator. I know that Chris Rock has a similar style, but I just find myself laughing more at Chris Rock than I do Dave Chappelle. And I know that comedians say nothing is off limits and no one is off limits, but I do find myself getting a little uncomfortable at certain moments during Dave Chappelle's set. And I'm like, I feel this is a little cringy right now. Whereas I don't necessarily feel that with the others as much. Now, if you go back to Bernie Mac's old stuff like Kings of Comedy, what he said then, he could not say this day and age. It would not fly.
Heck no.
But for that time period, it was hilarious. To me, it was hilarious. And then as far as Kevin Hart goes, I think Kevin Hart is funny. Some people say he's corny, he's cheesy, but I can appreciate the fact that he pulls from his personal experience. He's not just pulling from the sky talking about randomness. And he doesn't necessarily talk about social things or political things because that's just not his style of comedy. So Dave Chappelle is for me.
Tre'Dub looks very agitated.
So I actually have two again. Of course, my number one I want to give is definitely Kevin Hart.
You know.
It was no surprise at all. But also Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna say two gotta go. Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart just gotta go for me. Because like Dave, I never watched the Chappelle show, not one episode at all. And Kevin Hart was, like Desha said, corny, cheesy. I would say the only thing that I ever gained a chuckle from Kevin Hart was when one of his stand-up was when he said something about when he was arguing with a girl and how they got a van over to like have the argument or get their That was the only thing, because I feel like he hadn't been talking about a Charleston girl. He said something about him being at the airport, something like that. But of course, Chris Rock, like, he is hilarious. His movies, his shows, Head of State. I know y'all had to see that movie.
Yeah.
And then of course the Chris Rock show, Rochelle. Even though I had to do it, but still, like, it was his show, and it was just funny as funny as heck. And then Bernie Mac, like, even in his, like, you know, his movie appearances on like Friday, and then of course the famous stand-up when he was talking about his three nieces and nephews.
Even his show was funny.
Yeah, and that's what I said. The show was his show was actually really, really funny too, which I'm watching that on Hulu now. But
me too.
Yeah, but like, of course, he was talking about his three badass nieces and nephews, especially that nephew who's like, take us some okay cookies. Like that thing takes me out. But yeah, so it's not even one. It's two for me. Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart can kick rocks.
Cassondra.
Everybody know how much I hate Kevin Hart. Like, it ain't no surprise.
Wrong word.
I don't think he's funny at all. And like y'all said, like, he was corny. But I can't tell if I don't like him because I don't think he's funny, or because, and we was in high school, people ran out. Like, it was ran clean. I'm like, all right. It wasn't funny then. It wasn't funny when we did it in school. It's not funny to me. And like, I might have had like one moment where I was like, that was funny. But it wasn't like a die-hard laughing. Now, I love Dave Chappelle only because of what y'all said. He can be so, I don't even want to say racist, but like, some of his jokes can be very uncomfortable and very cringeworthy. And me and Chad have watched the Chappelle show. Like, it's funny, but like you said, it is very uncomfortable sometimes, where I'm just like, if I was in the audience, I probably wouldn't have known whether to laugh or whether to be upset, you know, but.
So, for me, Chris Rock can go.
What? Why?
I'm sorry. I watched so many things with Chris Rock in it. Pootie Tang was my first thing that I've seen. Like, I remember seeing him in. Didn't laugh at him. He was in Boomerang. Didn't laugh at him. He was in Grown Ups and all it. Like, I'd give him Madagascar. I laughed at Head of State, but it wasn't for him. It was because of Robin Givens. Like, Tre'Dub.
Trey, your microphone muted.
Oh, shit.
I thought you did that on purpose because they should have first muted. And I see your mouth moving.
My thing, okay, so for the four, there you got Bernie Mac. He can't go anywhere because he's a legend. Like, the way him and Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, and Cedric, they did the Kings of Comedy. You got DC Young Fly, Carlos, and Chico. They're doing their own thing, but they're trying to follow in that footsteps somewhat because you haven't had men do things like that. And again, Bernie Mac was just funny as all get out. There's nothing he hasn't been in that would be hilarious. I watch and I've seen things with Dave Chappelle because that's something my dad used to watch. He loved the Chappelle show. So there's that. And I think Kevin Hart is funny. Would I run to him over Bernie Mac? No. But I still can't wait. I've tried to watch Chris Rock stand up. I am not with it. I don't laugh at it or anything. Like it's just boring to me. And I like the edginess of Dave Chappelle and Bernie Mac. Me personally, I feel like how y'all said, what Bernie Mac said back then in Kings of Comedy was risky for today's people. But I just think people today are too sensitive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was still real stuff that he was talking about, and he talked about it, yes, but in the show and what people know about him, he still raised those kids that weren't his. He still took care of them. He didn't love them any less. Has Dave Chappelle said risky things that he has, and people say ooh and ah, but this man disappeared off the face of the earth for years. Who's to say what he went through before deciding to come back? People, everything you can't pull punches with, and that's what people today want. Oh, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, that's a sensitive subject. The way that they spoke on it, like, who was it, Ricky Smiley, he had the whole Precious thing or whatever. Everybody, and it wasn't, I'll just say, for the Black community, we said it and we made it seem like it wasn't a thing that was happening. In the Black community, if somebody had like, it was special needs or just had a mental disability, it was just like, oh, just don't pay them no mind. It is what it is. It's a real thing. There are things that if anything, in my opinion, people who have special needs or whatever, they're smarter than people who's supposed to be normal.
Mm-hmm.
You got people who go to shows like this who have special needs or whatever, and people pick on them. It's like, oh, that's not right. I'm like, they knew why they came here. It's a comedy show. They knew. No. Case in point, I fed them in comparison to the King of 85 South show. I watched so many stuff on YouTube. They've had so many people in wheelchairs and all this other stuff. Them people be right there in their chairs. They done rolled on the back of the girl wheelchair and everything. This is a comedy show. People go to get relief and to feel, as people would say, regular people. They don't take offense to anything that is said. They laugh at it themselves. Everybody not how they deliver it is one thing. But to just say, oh, we can't talk about it at all. No. So I've had another person tell me I was wrong for getting rid of Chris Rock, and I don't feel like I am. So like how y'all said about the music, how a lot of them were more poppy than R&B. I personally feel that Chris Rock is more so in between Black, but more so way on the white side. That's just my personal thing. As far as what you said about Dave Chappelle, like pushing those limits, I don't see the problem with it. Everybody wants to be included until they're included, and then it's a problem. So, for instance, you said Bernie Mac with this joke about his nephew, like being gay or whatever. I think it's still funny. My thing is, like I said, he still took care of those kids or whatever. He didn't shun them off, whether that was the narrative or not. But if he were to say that now, everybody is so sensitive. You can't say things about that with kids, and you just can't talk about gay people like that. I'm like, but y'all want to be seen and included, and this is what it is to be included. We've been joked about for years. Hell, you even look at Gary Owens. He's a white man who talks about his first experience at a Black church. It's all in how you tell the joke. And we all agree with him because he was like, bruh, my wife's church is too damn long. We've been here way too goddamn long. He's like, we go to our church, we in there for an hour, we're done. I can catch the game. My fault. I got passionate. We can catch the game, and be done. Her church in a sing 7 songs. You got announcements. You want to do praise music. now you gotta preach. Now somebody want to join the church. Then who had Bernie Mac actually had that in one of his episodes. Wanted to get the kids back in church. They sang, preach. Then it's like, who wants to join? You join. Now you gotta stay at the church for extra stuff. It's just all on how you tell the joke.
Mm-hmm.
I just think some people are just too sensitive for things nowadays. But that's just me.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him making jokes about real people, real life, as far as like race goes, sexuality, gender identity, whatever. The only joke that he has told that I've seen so far that made me like, this makes me uncomfortable, was the Bill Cosby joke. I don't remember how he set it up, but he just was like, he rapes but he saves. And it was like he kept saying that. And I don't know. It just made me uncomfortable. I don't feel like you should make jokes about sexual assault. Everything else, cool, but that specific thing, I just was not with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the line is definitely drawn when you're bringing very sensitive subjects like rape and sexual assault and, you know, people getting beat and things like that. It's kind of like, okay, now you got to draw the line somewhere, fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they did.
But then that kind of goes back to what LadiiNova was saying. It's kind of how you do it too. I mean, I don't know a nice way to talk about
that,
but yeah.
I was about to say, I don't even know, like, just don't even cross that bridge, to be honest.
So, going back to Kings of Comedy, and I was young when that came out. When Steve Harvey talked about Ray Caruth, I did not know who that man was or what the issue is or why he was hiding from cops. So he was talking about how he was hiding from cops and why it was so stupid, but he did not touch on why he was getting arrested or anything he did. That guy got a girl pregnant and was upset about it because he didn't take precautions in having sex with somebody and wanted to have the girl killed and the son. The girl ended up being killed, but she ended up, like, the son survived and everything. So now I think he has a disability or whatever the case is. If they were to talk about the son and the disability, that's pushing it for that standpoint, because that is a very touchy subject of how all of that happened, because he wanted to end the girl's life and the baby's life because he didn't want to have responsibilities after jumping off, I believe it was like his football career or something. And I want to say he just got out like maybe a couple of years ago. But what Steve Harvey did, he was just like, you did all of this and the way you hid. Like, nobody was going to find just that was dumb. A lot of shit just gotta go with certain things. So out of this, I think the heaviest one that was debatable was this comedian one. But if y'all feel like there was another one that we spoke on where you feel like they definitely have got to go, please comment on the page. Let us know which one for you has got to go. And then share it and let other friends decide which thing has to go.
Join us every Monday.
Like.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Join us every Monday.
Like.
Comment.
Subscribe.
And gas us up.